Okay, so ever since I've had a camper van, I've gotten a ton of questions, and a lot of them are similar. So I just think it's a good time right now to answer them. Okay, the number one question is probably, why do I live in a van? I think the best answer to that is, why don't you live in a van? But other than that, I think there's several reasons. I think the first one is just unlimited freedom. You can just go anywhere, anytime, with no plan, stay anywhere, and really have no plan. It's great. I've been traveling and working remotely for a few years now. Typically, it's like out of the country for a month or two in a new country. But then the problem was, I didn't have a place, I didn't have a home back in the United States. I would just keep my stuff at like my sister's house. And it felt like a little frazzled. And I figured it was time to settle down a little bit. And by that, I mean, just buy a van and put all my stuff in that. The other reason is I have all my stuff in one place. All my life possessions, everything I need, just right here. Oh, and also it's just the easiest way to travel. Travel is my biggest personality trait, to be honest. Okay, and then people wonder if I'm just in here all by myself, like a young woman, is it risky? And not really. I have a super stealthy van. No one can tell I'm in here. Right now, I'm just in like a residential neighborhood and have all these blackout curtains up, have all my lights on. No one knows I'm in here. It's great. And so it's super stealthy, and it feels like not risky to me. Yeah, okay, so since all my life possessions are right here, that could be considered a little risky, but they don't really add up to that much stuff. Really, my laptop is probably worth more than all my possessions combined. So if something happened to this van, I would be crushed. If something happened to all my things in this van, it's fine. It's just things. Okay, so a lot of people that live in vans get a cargo van or like a Mercedes Sprinter van or something, or a camper van, and those are all great. The reason I chose this van is, like last year, one of my friends and I rented a Chevy Astro camper van in Australia, but we traveled the whole East Coast, and it was a great way to travel because you don't have to reserve Airbnbs, hotels, hostels. Immediately I knew, well, I have to buy a van. So right when I came back from that trip, I was looking for vans in the United States. I found this camper van, and I just flew down like the next day. I was in Minneapolis, flew down to Florida, one-way ticket, just hoped it would work out. Met the guy at a mechanic shop, and it turned out to be like a pretty good van. The mechanic had some concerns, but I've driven like 60,000 miles on it since, and it's been pretty nice. Okay, the remodel, it was awesome. I didn't do much of it. I basically just did the interior, set up down here, the bed, the pull-out, like storage and stuff. So I bought this from a family of 4 and a dog, and they were living out of this thing for 6 months. And it's really not that big. It's good for like 1 or 2 people. So I'm super impressed with them. The guy he was awesome. He did all this wood paneling work, put in like the vent, the insulation, these can lights, which is awesome. He set up an extra battery, so I have more power in here. All that kind of work that I was not super excited about doing. And I wanted a way different layout inside because it was just one person, and I wanted to keep everything kind of easier to access. So I ended up ripping out like all the interior, the floor, the bed he had. It works great for me. Where do I shower? That's a classic question. Okay, so I shower at Planet Fitness's, which is just the go-to for people living in a van. I have a Planet Fitness membership. It's like $10 a month, or $20 a month if you're a Black Card member, and you can bring an extra person with you, and you can get free massages and stuff. So I'm actually a Black Card member. So when I have like guests with me in the van, we can both shower, which is convenient because you don't want to be living with a stinky person in a van. But summer 2020, because of COVID, it wasn't as easy to get to them. So I ended up just getting bathing wipes, and those work really well. No, I figured out if my face and my feet are clean, I feel pretty much clean. Okay, so when I first bought the van, I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but it was a little over $2 grand. And it had like around 260,000 miles in it. It had some problems, but it did have all this interior work done that I didn't want to do, the insulation, the wood paneling, the extra battery. So I decided to risk it. It wasn't that much money. I did that, and then there's been maintenance along the way. as of now, there's like 312,500 miles, right around there. So I've gotten lots of use out of this thing. I don't really get scared alone if I'm alone. I actually get the most scared if I have like a guest with me. If I'm having like, yeah, someone join me. Then I feel like I have to be a good host and make sure no one's gonna get us. That's when I've been the most nervous. If there's weird sounds outside, I'll get like pretty nervous, like, oh my gosh, I have to be a good host and make sure we don't get kidnapped in a perfect kidnap van. So it's super stealthy and it feels like not risky to me. I sleep right here with some pepper spray, which I've never had to use it, thankfully. It's just kind of for peace of mind. I used to have like a stun gun right here too, but it stopped working and I didn't want to get another one. I think I was playing with it too much because it just was pretty awesome. And I never accidentally did it on myself, but I always was tempted to try it out. The scariest night I had is when I was sleeping. I'm a very active sleeper and like toss and turn a lot. And I accidentally hit my trunk thing here, which made a lot of noise. It was like that. And it woke myself up. And then I thought someone was trying to like break in the van from the trunk. But I always, when I go to bed, I make sure all the doors are locked and everything's shut. But I ended up like, I was just holding this like closed, and I was convinced someone was trying to open it, and I was holding the lock closed, but it didn't actually happen. No one was out there. It was just, I woke myself up from hitting the lock. Okay, so for food, I'm pretty lucky. I am pretty low-key, and I don't care about food ever. It's just kind of something I have to do because I'm human. I don't really cook in here. I have a little camper stove, and I've used that maybe 2 or 3 times. Mostly, I really just like will go to the grocery store, get food that will last, like fruits, veggies. I'll go out to eat a meal every few days, and that's pretty nice. Who knows what I eat? Like fruit, nuts, dried fruit. I don't know. The unfortunate part about this van is I don't have a refrigerator, and I also don't have a freezer. Ice cream is one of my main food groups, and that means I just go to Dairy Queen a lot and get blizzards. That's pretty awesome too. You just get one blizzard, and that's the days are done. Okay, how do I keep this thing clean? Is I have the wood floor down here, and I just wipe that down with like kind of like a Clorox wipe or something like that. I have a mini vacuum that kind of works. Mostly I don't wear shoes in here too often. I don't have that much stuff, and I'm pretty organized. I like to know where everything is. I have this like the one big drawer that has everything in here and all in one place, which is awesome. When it's such a small space, I feel like it's very easy to keep it clean. For laundry, I usually go like a few weeks without doing it. And I've ended up seeing a lot of family and friends along the way, along my huge road trip, which is nice because it can get kind of lonely if you're just by yourself all the time. Yeah, laundry, I would do at a friend's or family's house, or really just laundromats. They're everywhere. Okay, how I get mail is the same way I've done it for like the last few years since I've just been traveling. I send all my stuff to my parents' house. And there's not that much stuff, I feel like. Yeah, I don't even know what kind of mail people get. Like, I live in a van, I don't have that many bills. I have, like, a phone bill and, like, health insurance and stuff. But, yeah, I just send everything to my parents' house. Oh, and the best way, if you need to buy things, order really anything, is Amazon lockers. They're also all over the place. The hard part for me is since I don't plan at all, I don't know where I'm going to be in, like, the next day or 2 or 3. Sometimes for Amazon lockers, I have to, like, actually plan and like, no, I'm going to be in this city in 2 days, which ends up like being kind of hard sometimes. But Amazon lockers are clutch when you're living in a van. Okay, for work, I'm a graphic designer. For the last several years, I've run Bain Creative Agency. I help startups get funded with pitch decks. So basically a fancy PowerPoint. So that's when like they're going to investors and trying to raise a few $1 million. I'll help them make their PowerPoint look a lot better. And I also do like branding work. So yeah, for money, I work on the road. I've been doing that like for a few years, just wherever I am in the world. I work from there. And it's just, yeah, that's what I'm used to. It's so, yeah, you either have to work on the road or save up money to like live van life basically.